Recently in Idaho, there was that satanic statue. You know about that?
Of course.
I'll make the claim that destroying it was bad. Should have been left up. Agree, disagree?
Strongly disagree.
Okay, so go stand over there.
Okay.
Why do you think you strongly disagree? Why was it bad to destroy?
Because God tells you to rebuke the devil. So anything you do in support of Satan is wrong, and it's your soul on the line. So
Okay, now we don't have two people here, but let's say we had another person here who said strongly disagree. That should have been left up.
oh,
What do you think their reason would be?
well, they're probably going to say something like free speech. Everyone has a right, blah blah blah, whatever, something like that.
Okay,
But that's not necessarily free speech.
new claim.
Okay.
Free speech in the United States is important.
You agree with that?
Okay.
Strongly agree.
So if you strongly agree that free speech is important in the United States and the satanic representation was a form of free speech.
No, I said they would claim that it was a form
Right,
of free
okay.
speech, but celebrating Satan is not. It's not godly. It's of man, and celebrating it in the House of Commons, which it should be like that people's house, is celebrating death, depopulation, child abuse, murder, sacrifice, all of these negative things that are anti-God. Our country is one nation under God, founded on the principles of Christianity. So speech against God is speech against the country.
Okay. Do you think, new claim,
Okay, let's do it. This is fun.
a person should be allowed to worship Satan in the privacy of their own home?
And I wouldn't recommend it.
What do you want to?
Sure, I agree. I don't agree with anybody worshiping Satan. But I think if somebody wants to do something in their home, as long as they're not hurting anybody else or forcing that on other people, especially public, like children who should be going to these political or these institutional places and learning positive things, right? That's the whole point of the government. The government should be helping the people, not trying to kill it or depopulate it or murder it or teach it how to hate its own self. Satan hates himself. He's so jealous of you that he hates his own father. So teaching a child or teaching a community to hate themselves and their own father is not what we should be doing, whether that's free speech or not. So if you want to hate yourself in your own home, go hate yourself in your own home. That's fine. But we're not going to teach the kids to do that. And we're certainly not going to allow that in this one nation under God.
Okay, so the main reason why you went down one is because the difference is one's public and one's private.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. New claim. A man named Jesus rose bodily from the dead 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
That's my claim. Where do you want to stand?
Say it again.
A man named Jesus rose bodily from the dead 2,000 years ago, roughly.
Well, not bodily necessarily. I mean, he came back in.
So where would you stand on the bodily claim?
Oh, you're inaccurate on what you're saying. So it's hard for me to agree or disagree with that because he came back in form, right? Raised from the dead, resurrected, but he was also passing in and out. Like you can't consider God linear or Jesus linear. Like Jesus spoke with Moses, right? Jesus spoke with Abraham. So it's not a linear thing, and it's not like you can't apply the laws of man to the Son of God. So that's all I would say. It's hard for me to like exactly.
But I guess like if I was to,
What does that say?
2 + 2 = 5. I think what Reed's trying to
say that. Have you ever read the Bible? You can't. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5. It equals 4.
Yeah. So
I see.
So in other words,
it's like saying thumbs behind me.
No.
Read the Bible.
No, I think what Reed's getting at is, like, if I were in your shoes,
Yeah.
and a guy who I didn't know said Jesus rose bodily from the dead, I would ask, what do you mean by bodily?
Well, that's what I said.
Okay.
It's ethereal. It's not a linear. That's what I just said. You cannot apply the laws of man, which is you will live and then die, to the laws of the Son of God, which is he can do whatever he wants. He's doing things for you, but he's passing through time. So, I mean, even when he came back and rose on after the 3 days, he was visiting people in different places. Sometimes not even in a fully sometimes transparent, right? I mean, he even talks about it. Like they see the outline, right? They travel. They see like looked like a ghost. They were afraid, and no, it's me. Don't worry.
So if I defined bodily like you and me,
Well, bodily, like physical.
Yeah.
Then I would disagree with you that it.
You would go where?
Well,
Strongly disagree?
No. I would just say that the question is it's.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because
Fair enough.
you're applying laws of man to the Son of God, and you can't do that.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
that's all.
Okay. You want to go politics or stay in religion?
Oh, I don't know. We'll do one more.
Okay, one more.
Let me do one with you.
Oh yeah, you take the mic.
Okay, great. All right, you stand on a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll go to neutral. You say make don't ask the question, make a claim, and then I'll stand.
we should continue to pay taxes to the federal government. Do you strongly agree or strongly disagree?
Any tax?
Any tax. You strongly agree. Why?
Because I believe in limited government, but I do think we should pay taxes to the government for things like the military.
Mm-hmm.
I think a strong military nation is a good nation to fend off their.
Well, but we've been doing that, and it's not really getting us anywhere. In fact, we have the weakest military since we've started.
Relatively to ourselves, I might agree with you, but I do think we've got the strongest military in the world compared to others.
Okay.
So, you got another thing?
Fair enough. Yeah, we can continue down that path, but let's find one more. Let me see.
Okay.
We have or will soon enter the time of tribulation, entering into the great revelation or the great reveal. Ooh, okay. What do you got for me?
Well, I don't believe that portion of the scriptures is true at all.
Okay.
I think, in fact, a lot of Christians might even say, actually, can you shift a little that way?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. You got a great face for camera.
Yeah, no worries.
Even Christians, I've heard disagree about, let's say, what Revelation, the book of Revelation actually means. Some people say it's already happened, at least partially. So there's many theories on that.
Well, that's not true because we know that the prophetics that say, it's 75 years after Israel gets their state back, that is just happening this year. It's the armies of the north and will match up with the armies of the east, which is Russia and China and this BRICS nation. And then false prophets will come when the Euphrates dries up, right? So all of those things are happening. You'll know Harari is now speaking out against his fathers. He's a homosexual Jewish man, so he hates the God of his fathers. And he's also now, his name in Hebrew translates to, what is it, the musician who ascends to the top of the mountain as in the days of Noah. So certain prophecies, it's hard to deny that certain prophecies are coming true, but I wanted to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, when it comes to prophecies, for me to be convinced of them, they have to be very, very specific.
Okay.
For example, have you heard of the prophecy of Tyre in the Old Testament, that Tyre would be destroyed? I think if I lived in that age and I was a skeptical person like I am today, I would say, well, of course it's going to be destroyed at some point. It's right along the Mediterranean? I mean, it's a shipping port. I mean, there's people who want that. There's going to be conflict there.
Right.
And getting back to the tribulation part, I think people during the Cold War thought that. I think people during World War II thought that, World War I, and every time they were wrong.
Okay. Well,
fair enough?
Fair enough. You're allowed your answer. Free speech.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And don't worry, I'm not a Satanist.
That's okay, good. Well, that was just great for you.
Okay.
You were.